channel. My name is Shiloh and I'm a cross stitcher and knitter living in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I can be found on Instagram as @Xstitchmd and on Ravelry as @Dr. Shiloh. Like always, the links to all of the projects and patterns and supplies I'm talking about will be in the description box below in case you feel enabled and want to work on any of the projects I've been working on. I hope you're all enjoying a holiday weekend and that you have some time off. I feel very fortunate that I get both Good Friday and Easter Monday off work, so it's a nice long 4-day weekend. I've been getting in lots of crafting time, which has been so nice, and I hope that you're getting the same. So let's start off with the fun stuff this week. So last video I had a giveaway for the Quaker's Pride chart, which was very kindly donated by Dorothy from Silk Stitching, and I was giving away 2 copies and the winner's choice of a hard copy pattern or a download from their Silk Stitching app. So the 2 winners of that, I'll put them on the screen now. One was Alton and the other was Rafaela. So congratulations to 2 of you. Please get in contact with me. My email is listed down below. And if you can send me an email just letting me know if you have the Silk app and would like the download, or if you will need a paper copy of the chart, and I will get that out to you. So congratulations. And with one giveaway ending, that means we have another one for this week. And this one I'm really excited about. So recently Timber Yarns, who is a Canadian yarn dyer, had an awesome update in her shop with this gorgeous yarn, which is called Exquisite. And I had to get it. Like, look how beautiful this is. All the gorgeous stripes. It actually is kind of reminds me a lot of the colors of my spring advent socks, which I'll show later. But these are beautiful, so I had to get a set for myself. The thing is, when I knit socks, I only need 1 of these skeins. So this comes as 2 50-gram skeins. The goal is to knit 1 sock from each skein, but I have smaller feet. I don't have that small feet. I wear a US size 7. And I can get a pair of socks out of 1 skein if I use a coordinating mini. So I figured, why not kind of spread the love? So I got 2 minis, which is the color Ducky, which I thought went really nicely with this. And what my plan is to give away 1 of these skeins along with 1 of these mini skeins to one of you. So if you also can knit socks out of a single 50-gram skein, and I think most people up to, I would say probably a women's size 9, could probably get a pair of socks out of a 50-gram skein and a 20-gram mini. So if that is you and you'd like to enter for this giveaway, leave me a comment below and include the word timber, Timber, in your comment. I'll mail this out to anywhere in the world, doesn't matter where, because I think we all would really love to win some yarny goodness in the mail. So that's for 1 50-gram skein of the Timber Yarns Exquisite, along with a 20-gram mini skein of the Ducky, which I use for heels, toes, and cuffs. So yeah, that's the giveaway for this week. This yarn is so soft, I love it so much. I really want to cast these on right now. So yeah, if you want to be entered to win, just leave me a comment down below and include the word timber in your comment. I want to say thanks again for everyone for leaving so many lovely comments on my videos. It's always kind of the highlight of my day after I post a video to go through and start seeing all the comments coming in. So thanks so much. And I'd love it if you haven't already subscribed. If you would subscribe, it just is so exciting to see this channel grow, and it's all due to supportive people like you. So thank you. So to start off, I have quite a few things for stitching to show because I had a big finish. I finished Sans Souci, and after a big finish, of course, you need a couple starts. We all know that's how it goes. So that's what I have. But let's start off with my big finish because I'm so excited about this. So this finish is Sans Souci by Long Dog Samplers. And the original pattern was stitched in a blue, but I chose to use a red. So I used DMC 902, which is this gorgeous burgundy red color. And I stitched this on 32 count vintage country mocha linen by Swaggart. And it's complete. There's just so many fun motifs in this. And it was just so much fun to stitch. I really love the house, the little cottage here. There's some little houses at the bottom. Just so many fun things. So it's done. Yay! So I didn't keep track. I should have kept track of how many skeins of floss this took, and I lost track because I wasn't really counting, but I think it was around 8 or so. skeins of DMC, and I used 2 strands over 2 on 32 count. So it's finished. Someone on Instagram asked what my favorite part was, and I think it's this elephant because he's so cute with the little owl on his back, and then there's a dog and a deer, and it's just so cute. But I also really like these 2 houses at the bottom here as well. So that is the finish. I am so happy with it. I'm really excited to go take it to get framed. I had gotten a Michael's gift card for my birthday, actually a couple Michael's gift cards for my birthday, which was a month ago. And so I'm really excited to put those to good use in getting this framed. So I will be taking that to get framed sometime this week and have a spot picked out on the wall for it. And I'm really excited to have it up so I can look at it every day. All right, so the next thing I'll show you is a piece I've been working on that is not a new start, but it is a whip I've been working on for some time. So this is the Modern Folk Embroidery Fruit of Plenty 2021 Stitch Along. And I got a little bit behind on this just because I had set a goal of finishing Sans Souci in March. So that piece was about 40-something% complete as of the start of March, and I set a goal that I wanted to finish it by the end of March, which I didn't quite accomplish. I think I finished it April 2nd. I mean, close enough, but that meant I had to stitch at least 425 stitches a day on it, which was a lot. It was doable, but it was the only piece I could work on. So that being said, my Modern Folk Embroidery piece did get a little bit ignored. But now I'm pulling it back out, and I'm hoping to get caught up getting both March and April's pieces done this month. So I just have a little bit of extra progress on this. So just working a bit on the border here. I'm really liking how it's coming along so far. And I guess you can't really see the whole thing there, but there's where it's at. So that's the part I was working on the far right, left, whatever side of your screen it is, this part over here. It's so pretty. So March's part is here, and then April's part was just released a couple days ago. We'll go here. I'm stitching this with DMC 902, which I apparently just really like that color, and DMC 3722. And this linen is more of this color here, this brighter pink, and it is called Ash Rose, 36 count Edinburgh linen by Zweigart. Love that. Okay, now for my 2 new starts. So this first new start is going to be a companion piece for the piece behind me, which is Cirque de Coeurs or Circus of Hearts. So this one is Cirque de Triangles, which it's probably said differently in French, like triangles or something, but I'm just gonna say Cirque de Triangles because that's easier to pronounce. And here's a picture of what it'll look like when it's complete. So I had started this a while ago and had started it on a 28 count and was stitching it with DMC, I think 822 or 820, I think 820. But I wasn't really liking the coverage I was getting on the 28 count. It was just a little bit too, it wasn't covering the white fabric quite enough. So I had shown my Cirque de Triangles piece on my Whip Parade video, which was back, I think December 31st, I recorded that. And Brittany from Instagram had commented and said that she loved it and it was so beautiful. And I was like, well, I'm not stitching this, so maybe she would like to stitch it. So she kindly offered a home for this piece and I sent it to her and she's been stitching on it, which is awesome. But I still wanted the piece for myself. I just wanted to restart it. So here's my little start. Just a teensy tiny little start. I am using 32 count white Murano, which is an even weave. It's kind of like Lugana. And I'm using this gorgeous silk floss, which is from Silks For You. And the color is PR168. So like, look at how very beautiful that is. It's just this like gorgeous shiny blue, which I love. So I got a half hank, which I think is 50 yards. And then I just cut it in half, and which makes these very long strands. But then I pull out one of these strands out of the bundle, and then I use one strand and fold it in half. So I use the loop method. This isn't really variegated, so I'm fine with using the loop method for it. So that's my little start. I'm really, really enjoying this so far. I loved working on Cirque de Coeurs, so it was really exciting to pull out another ink circles piece to work on again. Okay, my next new start, this is a pattern from Historische Stickmuster called Everything in White, and it was it's available on the Silk Stitching app. So just a little bit of background. Stacy, 911 Stitcher, and I are starting a stitch along for the Quaker's Pride sampler, which Historische Stickmuster released earlier in March on the Silk Stitching app. I have all my stuff planned out for it. However, I needed to get a bigger piece of fabric. I'm stitching it on 36 count, and I think it works out to be something like 21 by 21 inches or something like that. It's pretty big. But the piece of fabric I had was a fat quarter, so 19 by 27 or 18 by 27, so it wasn't gonna fit. So Fabric Flair is gonna send me a slightly bigger piece, which will be great because the fabric I wanted to use is their 36 count hazy gray, which is gorgeous, but I just needed a bigger piece. All that to say, in the meantime, I wanted to start a pattern using the Silk Stitching app because I find it really fun and great to use. It's really nice for tracking your progress. It's similar-ish to Pattern Keeper, but Pattern Keeper is Android only. Silk is for Apple's devices, and the difference with the Silk Stitching app is it's only compatible with patterns you purchase through their store, but they've been adding a lot of new designers lately. They have Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery, Elaine from Galliana Samplers, Vivian from Viv Powers Design, so check them out. Saying all that to say, I started this pattern, which is called Everything in White, and I believe it was designed by Uta Shear, and it's such a pretty design. So I'm just gonna move my needle here. I started this on a really beautiful piece of fabric from Fabric Flair, which is called their Purple something. I'll link it down below. I think it's like Purple Passion or something like that. So it's a 32 count even weave, and I'm using DMC Ecru, 2 strands over 2. And I love how it's turning out so far. So we got the letter U, we got a little owl here. I think that's the letter F, and we have a little cute little person. I'm loving how the ecru is showing up on this purple fabric. I just think it's gonna be so pretty. So yeah, I'm really liking stitching on this Fabric Flair fabric. It's really nice to stitch on. And the cool thing about it is it's printed. So the back of it is white, and they just print the color directly on it. Super cute. I am loving this. It was so hard to put this down, but I was like, I need to work on my Modern Folk Embroidery piece, but I'm loving stitching on this. If you haven't noticed, monochromatic pieces are kind of my jam. I love using one color, stitching a giant piece with just one color because it's just so fun and easy, and you don't have to worry about, you know, switching out your colors or looking at the chart for figuring out what symbol is which. One color, just go. Okay, so that is all my stitching. Let's show you my knitting. I have a couple of knitted sock finishes that I'm really excited to share. So the first one is this sock, which was mostly done last episode. So this is one of the picnic blanket socks by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. And look how cute it is. I just love this. This ruching is so fun. And basically you just have to do a bunch of increases and then decrease to get this really fun pattern, but it fits really nicely. I'm really happy with it. This gorgeous speckly yarn is by Camp Fiber Yarns, who is a Canadian dyer, and the colorway is called Geode. And then this pink color is by Smash Knits, who is also a Canadian dyer, and this came as part of a mini skein set. I think it's called Bubbles 2 was the mini skein set. So that's my first sock then. Super happy. I have not cast on the second sock yet. I was meaning to, but got distracted by other things. Okay, I also have a finished pair of socks, so very excited about these. So these are, I'll show you just one first, but these are done from yarn by Area 51 Fibers, a Canadian dyer, and this is called her Spring Fever Advent skein. So it came as 2 separate skeins that each had 31 stripes, and it also came with this color as a mini to do the heels, toes, and cuffs in. So I cast on with this, and then each day I would knit a stripe corresponding to what day of the month that was. So there's 31 stripes for 31 days in March. The first day, the 16th day, and the last day I had to knit the heels, toes, and cuffs as well, but it was doable. So that was super, super fun, and I really enjoyed it. The way I figured out how long to make these, I think I mentioned this on my last video, but just in case people were wondering, is I know that I like to have usually what is equivalent to 15 stripes is how long I like my foot to be. I was knitting shorter length before for my foot, but I found it slightly too tight at the toes. So 15 stripes, and each stripe is around between 4 to 5 rows. That works well for my foot. So I knew that there was 31 stripes in this skein, and then I wanted 15 stripes for my foot. So that meant I had 16 stripes to knit before I hit the heel. Hope that makes sense. People can count rows too, but I just find with self-striping socks, it's really easy to count stripes because that's like a lot easier than trying to count each individual number here, but if I know that each stripe is between 4 to 5 rows, it's basically the same as counting rows. I hope that made sense. But there is my finished pair of socks, and I will be putting these on shortly to wear to Easter dinner. So yeah, very happy with how these turned out. They were really fun to knit. I'm kind of considering doing a similar thing next month. So starting in May, just like picking a self-striping yarn and just knitting a stripe per day, because it was really fun to do that, and it's really nice to have a finished pair at the end of the month. Okay, so in terms of my knitting whips, I have a couple of socks on the needles, of course. The first one I'll show you is one that is using some absolutely gorgeous yarn. So I'll show you the yarn first. So this is from Brian Dye Works Charity, who is out of Alberta. And this gorgeous yarn is part of her Color and Film yarn club. So she just started this yarn club last month, and each month she has a set of 6 mini skeins that are based on the color palette or a particular colors from a particular scene in a movie. So this is from the movie Amelie, which I have not seen. And the one for April is from Space Odyssey, which has some gorgeous like blues and pinks. I'll put a picture of it up here. But it's super fun. So I'm really enjoying being a part of that club. You can sign up for that on her website. So anyway, this came with a set of 6. The sock pattern that, there goes the yarn ball. The sock pattern I'm using only called for 5 colors. So I'm not using this chocolate brown. I'll use that for a different pattern. So the pattern I am knitting these is called the Sprocket Socks by Pip and Pin. And look how fun these are. I'm really, really enjoying this. It's a very simple knit and then slip stitch pattern. So I'm just alternating between all 5 colors, and I did something new, which is a short row heel. I usually do a heel flap and gusset, but this called for a short row heel, which I did. And I actually really liked it. The nice thing about this is it doesn't require you to decrease, because you're not picking up stitches for a gusset that you then have to decrease away. So that was kind of nice because you just keep the same amount of stitches on the needles. Yeah, so I finished the leg, I'm on the foot. I don't remember how many stripes exactly are on the foot, but these shouldn't take too long to finish. Super, super fun. And this yarn is just so pretty. These are kind of Christmassy, but I love it. It's never the wrong time for Christmas. Okay, my next socks are not very pretty. I decided that I wanted to knit a pair of scrappy socks. So I've been following Kay, the crazy sock lady, on Instagram and YouTube, and she does a thing on Sundays that is called Scrappy Sunday, where she works on projects using her leftover scraps of yarn. And since I've knit quite a few pairs of socks lately, I have a whole bunch of scraps of sock yarn that were just wanting to be cast on and to kind of combine together. So these are very bright. So I started a pair of socks using my leftovers. So there's the leg of the first one. And the second one, I've done the leg, and I have a wild heel, and I'm starting on the foot. So these do not really match. They kind of coordinate. And what I was doing is I had leftover self-striping yarn. So that's the blue, I don't even know what color this is, like a green, yellow. So I had leftover self-striping yarn that I was using, and I was alternating between a row of that and a row of my other leftovers. So this was a gray, this was a turquoisey, this was this hot green, this was a light green, another hot green, and then I used this mini from Timber Yarns for the heel. And same thing with this one. This one didn't have a red stripe in it, but this one does. So I finished with all that self-striping yarn for the leg, and so for the heels, I'm doing them in this little mini from Timber Yarns, which is this really pretty color. Doesn't match at all. And then for the foot, I am alternating between these 2 leftover skeins. So this is Brian Dye Works Minto, and this is Knit Picks Improv. And these colors kind of blend, so it's a little bit hard to see, but I'm basically doing 3 rounds of the Improv and 1 round of Minto, because I have quite a bit more Minto, or 3 rounds of Improv, 1 round of Minto, because I have a lot more Improv than Minto. So that's going to be that. So it's going to definitely have a giant line where we go from the self-striping wildness to this bright heel to this more pale foot, but I think it's kind of fun, and I'm using up all my scraps, which is so satisfying. So that is my, these are my ugly socks, but I will wear them with pride. Okay, So that's all of the knitting stuff I have for this week. Oh, I lied. No, I have one more knitting project to show. So I haven't worked on a knit shawl in quite some time and felt like I needed to have one on my needles at that very moment. So I cast on this shawl, which is called the Hongdae, Hongdae shawl by Wanderlust Fiber Arts. And I'm really enjoying it. So it's a really simple 2-color shawl. I think you need 2 skeins of the main color and 1 skein of the contrast color. And I'm loving it. It's a really simple slipped stitch mosaic design. So I finished the first section, which is this mosaic, and I finished the second section, which is this garter. And I am loving it. So the main color here is Knit Picks Palette, which is a 100% merino fingering weight yarn, and the colorway I'm using for this is cream. And this color here, easier to see here, this gorgeous color is Camp Fiber yarns, the same yarn I used for my picnic blanket socks, the same yarn dyer. And this colorway is called something about fireworks. I can't remember exactly. Bridges and Fireworks. And this was part of her book club, yarn club, where she dyed a colorway based off of a book. And the book that she had based this off of was Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, which I loved, so I had to get this. But yeah, so this is really beautiful with all the little speckles in it. And I really like how it is showing up in the shawl. So I have a lot more sections to add to this, but like, it's gonna be so pretty. So I'm really enjoying this. The garter sections are nice and mindless, really easy to do while watching TV. And the slip stitch sections are really easy too, because on the right side is the kind of pattern side, and on the back side you just knit all of the stitches that were knit the previous row and slip all the stitches that were slipped. So super easy. Okay, so a bit of a shorter episode this week, which kind of reflects the fact that maybe I haven't been doing as much crafting as I would like to be doing. I think we all go through periods of life where work gets busy, life gets busy, and that's definitely been the case for me the past few weeks. However, it's been so nice to still kind of carve out a few minutes for stitching and knitting when I can, and looking back, I actually did get quite a bit done, which I'm proud of. I'm really excited to go get my Sans Sous Sui framed. All right, so that's all the content I have for you this week. It was a bit of a shorter episode, but hopefully that just gives you more time for squeezing in all the other floss tubers that are out there. It's so nice to be part of this community where we just have so many creative people that are so inspiring. I hope you're finding some time to make this weekend, and take care. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Don't forget to enter the giveaway. Use the word timber down below. And I'll see you later. Bye.